Canada come out of Mexico City and the Azteca Stadium, getting a point and a solid 1-1 draw end result, which should have been a win. Personally, I think Canada easily should have won this, or Mexico could have won this. This game could have swung either way. A lot of amazing chances for both teams. Canada could have taken their chances, Mexico could have taken their chances, but both teams come away with a 1-1 draw, which is probably very fair for both sides. But probably the best game so far in the Concacaf World Cup qualifying by a mile, personally. Both teams showing what they got and why they both deserve to be in the World Cup 2022 Qatar. But guys, before we jump into things, make sure to hit that sub button. It means the world to me. Drop a like down below and let me know what you guys thought down below about the game. And we're going to drop into my match reactions for Mexico versus Canada, which finished 1-1 at the Azteca. This was an amazing game yesterday that played out between Canada and Mexico. Obviously, goals coming from Sanchez in the 21st minute, and Jonathan Osorio, the Canadian hero yesterday at the Azteca, who loved scoring there, scoring in the 42nd minute. But it was a very good game. Personally, if you take it both halves, Canada were by far the better team in the first half, and Mexico were the better team in the second half. You can't take anything away from Mexico in the second half, and you can't take anything away from Canada in the first half. Canada played Mexico off the park in the first half. They played with intent. They wanted the ball. They wanted to control the ball. They kept the ball. I'm used to Canadian football where it's hit it to Victoria, hit it to Milan Boyan, they hit it long and hope Davies can get on the end of it. But lately under John Herdman, we've been playing such nice football, some nice tiki-taka football, possession-style football, and it's been beautiful to see. And yesterday in the first half, we played Mexico off the park. Yes, it was that shaky 21st minute goal, which was a terrible giveaway in the middle by, I think it was Mark Anthony Kaye, which you just can't afford to do that in big games, especially against Mexico, against games that matter. And obviously, Chucky Lozano was having his time against Alistair Johnson on the right side. But that's the best attacker Alistair's going to see in CONCACAF, and he didn't do too bad in the second half. But it was an amazing ball from Chucky over to Sanchez, and Sanchez was offside. Personally, this is the reason why I feel like we need VAR. I'm not going to harp on it because it was still a very nice goal from Mexico, and Mexico could have easily scored another one in the game. But Sanchez was offside, and personally, I feel like we should have a main hub like they do in the NFL and all those other, and in NHL, where they have a main hub for their video review, and you just go there instead of saying all these other stadiums can't afford it or can't have the infrastructure to have VAR. Just have one station in the US that has VAR so they can review it, and then they can just send in the decision to the ref. There can't be any other, there needs to be some way where we can get VAR in CONCACAF football. Every other World Cup qualifying has it. Why can't we? I just don't understand it. But so be it. It was a good goal from Sanchez, a great finish, well taken, and that put Mexico up 1-0. And then from there on, Canada really just stepped up to gear. Personally, the guy who really impressed me was Stefan Eustachio once again, and Jonathan Osorio was unbelievable. I think he needs to step up to a better team, but at the age of 29, I don't see him moving too far. I could see him taking a little step up, but there's nowhere he can really go at 29. He could if he wanted to. But the guy who really impressed me is Stephen Eustachio. Really controlled the ball in the early half of the first half and just helped Canada tick the ball around, moving it around very nicely. The one thing that I can say as a Canadian is disappointing and also a positive is we didn't see enough of Jonathan David because we just didn't want to feed it into him. But another positive is we tied Mexico comfortably and could have had more goals, and Jonathan David didn't really do much. That is also a massive positive. Saying that our number 9, our star man, didn't really touch the ball, didn't really harm anyone, is quiet in the field. We tied the best team by far in CONCACAF, and we got a result away at the Azteca without our star striker doing anything, which is massive. Yes, Jonathan David's movement was still crucial in the final third, but it is still huge that you're able to get goals from other players like Jonathan Osorio, and those other players who aren't Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David, Kyle Larin, Hoylett, Buchanan. Other players are adding into the goals now, and we need that as a nation, and if we can keep doing this going forward, this team can be deadly. But Mexico had a great game. If you looked into the stats, 54% possession for Mexico to 46, 12 shots to 8, 5 on target to 5 on target. Very, very even and close game for both teams. Like I said, Canada was phenomenal in that first half. I was very impressed by Steven Vittorio once again. Kamal Miller was very, very good in that back line. And you got to look at Richie Laurier again. He was fantastic at left back. He played very well once again. Alistair Johnson was obviously going to have a tough time against Irving Lozano because Alistair Johnson's played some opponents in Concacaf, but it's usually been in that three in the back, so he's not used to that four in the back at Canada's new style. But we had to with missing. On the other thing you got to look at for Canada is Canada had, I wouldn't say our B side, but we were missing probably 3 or 4 of our better players. Kyle Larin, our number one goal scorer, wasn't there from Besiktas. You were missing Atiba Hutchinson from Besiktas, and you were missing Milan Boyan, our number one goalkeeper. I can't remember who else we were missing or if we were, but I know we were missing 3 of our starting 11. And Mexico had their full side, and they even added Chucky Lozano and they added Raul Jimenez. So our not A side was able to basically almost beat their number one side, which is massive. I never would have expected that as a Canadian. But last time out in my preview, I predicted 1-1. The game ended up being 1-1. I said it. I felt like Canada was going to get a result. I felt like that Mexican back line was suspect. And it is. I saw it yesterday. I know I had some hate for it in the comments, but I don't really care because the Mexican back line did not impress me at all yesterday. They were suspect. Like I said, 5-10 minutes in, Davies was getting at the right back. I can't remember who it was exactly, but I think it was Sanchez, but I can't remember who was playing over there. Yeah, it was Sanchez. But Davies was having his time with Sanchez early on, and then they had to start double marking them. Then they started triple marking Davies at times, and it was just interesting to see how gradually they had to double mark Davies because Sanchez couldn't handle them. And in the middle, Araujo and Montez did very well with Jonathan David. But that was always going to be what happened. They're going to double team him. And we weren't going to play down the middle. So obviously those two weren't going to get too affected. But when the ball was played into the middle on those cut-ins from Tejan Buchanan and the cut-ins from Alphonso Davies, the two center backs weren't able to get back in time to clear the ball. Example is when Tejan Buchanan absolutely rinsed Gallardo at left back there, got past him with ease, and put it in the box, and Davies couldn't get on the end of it to finish it. It was just a step behind. But that's what I meant by Mexican back line was so suspect, and I saw it yesterday. I know people might still give me hate, but you got to make it a easier transition for that young back line to come in compared to that older back line. Yes, Araujo's getting up there in age, and yes, I understand 2019 was 2019. This is now 2 years in the future, and we have a different Canadian side. Tejan Buchanan absolutely ruined Gallardo yesterday, and Davies absolutely rinsed Sanchez. And I know people might see different, but that is exactly what happened yesterday. And even when David didn't do much, we brought on Brim, who was pushing the back line, who played very well for the last couple minutes. Liam Miller was having a good time against Sanchez. It was just a great performance from Canada all around. Don't get me wrong, Mexico had an unbelievable second half, putting the pressure on Canada. But that was also welcome from the Canadian side and the Canadian back line. I think John Herdman said, let's go out there, let's defend first, let's get the point, let's move away from this, and then let's go and hit them on the counterattack, which we should have done multiple times. We should have had better scoring chances. We just didn't get there, and we weren't clinical enough. But it was an amazing performance from both sides. I was very, very impressed from Canada, and I'm so proud to be Canadian right now, guys, because Canada doesn't stop impressing me at this World Cup qualifying. And right now it looks like Mexico, Canada, and US are going to go through to World Cup qualifying. I know it's still early, but the results they're picking up is massive. Jamaica's way behind. No one would have expected that. Panama picked up that loss yesterday. It's been a crazy World Cup qualifying for CONCACAF, and with Panama losing to El Salvador yesterday, anything could happen. And it's very interesting that so many teams have started off slow, and that Canada is so far ahead of some other teams, and Mexico and US and Canada are looking like we're all going to qualify, which would be amazing for CONCACAF to see all three major nations in the World Cup. And it's going to be amazing for Canada, Mexico, and US to be in that World Cup Qatar 2022 come next year. But guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the match reaction to Canada versus Mexico. I know it was mainly Canadian based, but I am Canadian, so take it as you will. But guys, it was an amazing performance from both teams. Very good point for Canada coming away from the Azteca. I can't wait to hear what you guys say down below in the comments. Drop a like, drop a sub, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.